There are questions we can answer quickly. What should I do today? Where should I go next? What do I need to accomplish? And then there are questions that remain with us for an entire lifetime. What is truly worth wanting? How much should we expect from life? Can we trust other people? How should we respond when the world is unfair? And perhaps most importantly, how should we live? Many years ago, the Polish philosopher Professor Kołakowski was asked what he believed was most important in life. His answers did not form a grand philosophical system. They were not a collection of strict rules. They were closer to simple observations, brief pieces of wisdom shaped by experience, history, disappointment, friendship, failure, and hope. Some of his observations appear almost obvious. Value your friends. Do not want too much. Learn to recognize beauty. Do not measure your life by someone else's standards. Others are more difficult. Do not expect the world to be fair. Do not complain about life. Trust people, at least as a starting point. Avoid rigidity and fundamentalism. These ideas may sound simple, but simple ideas are not always easy to live by. They raise uncomfortable questions. How do we desire less in a world that constantly encourages us to want more? How do we accept our limitations without simply giving up? How do we trust people after we have been betrayed? And how do we live without bitterness when life does not give us what we believe we deserve? This new series will explore 17 reflections inspired by Professor Kołakowski's observations about life. It will not be a philosophical lecture. It will not be an attempt to explain every aspect of his thought. And although I speak to you as a priest, these reflections will not be sermons in the usual sense. They will be conversations about the human condition, about desire and disappointment, friendship and loneliness, ambition and acceptance, trust, suffering, beauty, happiness, and the difficult art of living with ourselves. Faith may sometimes enter these reflections, because faith is part of the way I understand the world, but it will not be used to close difficult questions too quickly. Sometimes a question must remain open for a while. Sometimes wisdom begins not with a confident answer, but with the courage to look honestly at our own lives. Professor Kołakowski did not offer a perfect formula for happiness. Perhaps no such formula exists. What he offered was something more modest, and perhaps more useful, a collection of signposts. These are not commandments imposed upon us. They are invitations to examine the direction in which we are traveling. Over the coming weeks, we will consider each of these signposts separately. We will ask what it might mean today, where it can help us, where it might challenge us, and where we may need to disagree with it. Our first reflection begins with something that many of us recognize, but too often neglect. Before success, before possessions, and before recognition, friends. Perhaps learning how to live begins by remembering that no meaningful life is lived entirely alone. Welcome to How to Live, reflections inspired by Professor Kołakowski.